Chapter 28, The Mirage of the Celestial Garden. The desert night was cool and filled with the soft glow of the stars as Tobian and Nivara followed the path illuminated by the glowing stones. Each step they took seemed to hum with ancient magic, guiding them ever closer to the hidden temple. The night was quiet, save for the distant echo of winds across the dunes, and the air was thick with anticipation. As dawn began to break, painting the sky with hues of pink and gold, Nivara felt the familiar stir of the desert's magic calling to her once more. She knew it was time to change, to attune herself to the new energies of the morning. Closing her eyes, she allowed the transformation to take place. When Nivara opened her eyes again, her appearance had altered in harmony with the dawn. Her hair had turned a brilliant shade of gold, reflecting the rising sun, while her eyes now shimmered with the soft blue of the morning sky. Her skin had a warm, sun-kissed glow, and her attire had changed to a light, flowing robe made of delicate silks in shades of coral and amber, reminiscent of the first light of day. She embodied the serenity and promise of a new beginning. Tobian marveled at her transformation. "You've become the dawn itself, Nivara. A symbol of renewal and the endless possibilities of a new day." Nivara smiled, feeling the warmth of the sun on her skin. "The desert's magic is ever-changing, just like us. I feel a new energy here, something hidden just beyond the horizon. We're getting closer." They continued their journey, and as the sun climbed higher in the sky, the heat began to intensify. The landscape around them shifted, the dunes rising and falling like waves on an ocean of sand. It wasn't long before they began to see strange sights on the horizon, flickering images that seemed to appear and disappear in the blink of an eye. "Mirages," Tobian said, his voice filled with both wonder and caution. "The desert is known for them, but these seem different." One of the mirages caught their attention, a beautiful, lush garden filled with vibrant flowers, towering trees, and sparkling fountains. It was a sight unlike anything they had seen in the harsh desert, a place of perfect serenity and beauty. The air around the mirage was thick with the scent of blooming flowers and the sound of birdsong. Drawn to the vision, Nivara and Tobian approached, but as they neared the edge of the garden, they realized something was amiss. The ground beneath their feet began to shift, and the air grew heavy with magic. The garden flickered, revealing glimpses of a barren wasteland beneath the illusion. "This isn't a normal mirage," Nivara said, her voice tense with realization. "It's a trap, an illusion meant to lure us in." But it was too late. The moment they recognized the danger, the mirage solidified, pulling them into its deceptive embrace. The lush garden became their reality, the desert around them fading away. They found themselves standing in the heart of the celestial garden, a place of ethereal beauty but with an undercurrent of danger. The garden was alive with magic, each flower, tree, and fountain pulsing with an unnatural energy. The air was thick with the scent of exotic blooms, and the sky above was a deep, shimmering gold. It was a place out of a dream, but there was an unsettling sense of something watching them, waiting. Tobian reached out to touch one of the flowers, but the moment his fingers brushed its petals, the flower wilted and turned to ash. The ground beneath them began to tremble, and the illusion of the garden started to crack, revealing glimpses of the desolate desert beneath. "We need to find the source of this magic," Tobian said, drawing on his own powers to stabilize their surroundings. "The garden is feeding off our desires and fears, twisting them into something dangerous." Nivara, drawing on the dawn's energy within her, focused her senses, searching for the heart of the illusion. She could feel the pull of the magic, a dark, twisted force hidden deep within the garden. "There," she said, pointing toward a cluster of trees at the center of the garden. The magic is strongest there. Together, they made their way to the center of the garden, where they found a large, ancient tree with roots that seemed to dig deep into the earth, anchoring the illusion in place. The tree's bark was cracked and blackened, oozing a dark, viscous substance that pulsed with malevolent energy. "This tree is the heart of the mirage," Tobian said. "We need to break its hold on this place." Nivara, her form glowing with the light of the dawn, approached the tree. She placed her hands on its bark, feeling the dark magic pulsing within. Drawing on the pure, renewing energy of the morning, she began to channel light into the tree, her power clashing with the dark force at its core. The tree resisted, its roots tightening their grip on the land, but Nivara's power was relentless. The dawn's light began to spread through the tree, purging the darkness and restoring the balance of magic. The garden around them started to shimmer and fade, the illusion breaking apart as the tree's hold weakened. Finally, with a burst of light, the tree cracked and crumbled to dust, and the garden dissolved into nothingness, leaving Tobian and Nivara standing once more in the open desert. The heat of the sun was intense, but the danger had passed. The illusion was gone. Exhausted but triumphant, Nivara looked at Tobian, her form still glowing with the light of the dawn. "We did it," she said, her voice filled with relief. "The mirage is gone." Tobian nodded, a proud smile on his face. "And we're one step closer to the temple. The desert's magic is powerful, but together, we can overcome anything." As the day wore on, they continued their journey, the memory of the celestial garden lingering in their minds. They knew that more challenges awaited them, but they were ready to face them, knowing that their bond and their magic would see them through. And as they walked, Nivara's form began to shift once more, attuning herself to the changing energies of the desert. The adventure was far from over, and new mysteries awaited just beyond the horizon. Chapter 29, The Symphony of the Crystal Caverns. With the sun high in the sky and the desert stretching endlessly around them, Tobian and Nivara pressed on, their path now clear after the defeat of the celestial garden's illusion. The desert, though harsh and unforgiving, seemed less threatening now, its magic tempered by their victory. However, a new challenge awaited them, and the magic of the desert was ever-changing. As the afternoon sun cast long shadows across the sands, Nivara felt the familiar tug of transformation. The energy of the desert had shifted once more, and she knew she needed to attune herself to it. She closed her eyes, feeling the warmth of the sun on her skin, and allowed the transformation to take hold. When she opened her eyes again, Nivara had changed. Her hair had turned a deep, rich indigo, like the sky just before nightfall, and her eyes now gleamed like polished amethysts. Her skin had taken on a subtle, crystalline sheen, reflecting the sunlight in a dazzling array of colors. Her attire had shifted to a form-fitting garment made of interlocking scales that shimmered with every movement, resembling the surface of a precious gemstone. She had become the embodiment of the desert's hidden treasures, its precious stones and minerals that lay buried beneath the sands. Tobian looked at her in awe. "You're like a living crystal, Nivara. The desert's hidden beauty personified." Nivara smiled, her voice resonating with a soft, melodic tone. "The desert holds many secrets beneath its surface, Tobian. I feel like I've become one with those secrets. There's something here, something buried deep within the earth that calls to me." As they continued their journey, the sands beneath their feet began to change. The ground grew harder, and the desert landscape gave way to rocky terrain dotted with jagged outcroppings of crystal. The air around them was cooler, and there was a faint, almost musical hum that seemed to resonate through the stones. The path led them to the entrance of a cave, its mouth framed by massive crystal formations that sparkled in the fading light. The hum grew louder as they approached, filling the air with a symphony of sounds that seemed to originate from deep within the earth. "The crystal caverns," Tobian said, recognizing the place from old legends. "It's said that these caverns are alive with magic, resonating with the symphony of the earth itself. But they are also treacherous. Those who enter without the proper attunement often find themselves lost within the labyrinth of crystals." Nivara, her crystalline form glowing softly, stepped forward with confidence. "I feel the magic of this place, Tobian. I'm attuned to it now, like a note in its symphony. We can navigate these caverns together, as long as we stay in harmony with the magic." They entered the caverns, the walls around them glowing with the light of countless crystals in every color imaginable. The sound of the symphony filled the air, a hauntingly beautiful melody that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. As they ventured deeper into the caverns, the path became more complex, with tunnels branching off in every direction. The crystals pulsed with light, each one vibrating with its own unique frequency, contributing to the symphony. Tobian and Nivara moved carefully, attuning themselves to the music and following the path that resonated most harmoniously with Nivara's crystalline form. The caverns seemed to react to their presence, the crystals growing brighter and the music intensifying as they progressed. However, they soon realized that not all of the caverns were welcoming. Some paths led to areas where the music grew discordant, the crystals darkening and the air growing heavy with a sense of foreboding. "We need to avoid those paths," Nivara said, her voice resonating with the harmonious tones of the caverns. "The dissonance is a sign of danger. If we stray from the melody, we could become lost." Tobian nodded, focusing on the magic of the place and drawing on his own powers to enhance their connection to the symphony. Together, they navigated the labyrinth, using the music as their guide. After what felt like hours, they reached the heart of the crystal caverns, a vast chamber filled with towering crystal formations that pulsed with a brilliant, radiant light. In the center of the chamber stood a massive crystal, larger than any they had seen before, its surface smooth and flawless. The music here was the most intense, a perfect harmony that filled them with a sense of awe and wonder. "This is the heart of the caverns," Tobian said, his voice barely a whisper. "The source of the symphony." Nivara approached the massive crystal, her form glowing brighter with each step. She reached out and touched its surface, feeling a powerful surge of energy. The crystal responded to her touch, the music intensifying and the light within it growing even brighter. Suddenly, the crystal began to resonate with a deep, powerful tone that filled the chamber. The other crystals responded in kind, their light and sound converging into a single, harmonious note that echoed through the caverns. The air around them shimmered with energy, and the ground beneath their feet began to tremble. The crystal was awakening, and with it, the magic of the entire cavern. "We've activated something," Nivara said, her voice filled with both excitement and trepidation. "The magic of this place is responding to us." Tobian, sensing the significance of the moment, stepped forward and placed his hand on the crystal alongside Nivara's. Together, they channeled their combined magic into the crystal, attuning themselves to its power. The crystal responded by releasing a burst of light that filled the chamber, washing over them and resonating through their very beings. They could feel the magic of the caverns flowing through them, connecting them to the earth, the crystals, and the symphony that played within the heart of the world. When the light finally subsided, they found themselves standing in the now silent chamber, the crystals around them glowing with a soft, gentle light. The symphony had quieted, but the energy of the place remained, a comforting presence that filled them with a sense of peace. Nivara, her form still glowing with the light of the crystals, turned to Tobian. "We've become a part of the cavern's magic, Tobian. The symphony will guide us from here, showing us the way forward." Tobian nodded, feeling the magic within him resonating with the crystals around them. "And it will be with us as we continue our journey. The desert has many more secrets to reveal, but with this connection, we'll be ready for whatever comes next." As they left the caverns, the path before them now clear and bathed in the light of the setting sun, they knew that their adventure was far from over. The desert held many more mysteries, and with each step, they drew closer to the hidden temple and the secrets it guarded. And as they walked, Nivara's form began to shift once more, attuning herself to the changing energies of the land. New challenges awaited, but together, they would face them, guided by the magic of the earth and the symphony of the crystal caverns. Chapter 30, The Veil of the Moonlit Grove. With the crystal caverns behind them and the desert night once again closing in, Tobian and Nivara continued their journey toward the hidden temple. The desert had proven to be a land of endless wonders and dangers, but each challenge only strengthened their bond and deepened their connection to the magic of the world around them. As twilight fell, the landscape began to change. The barren sands of the desert gradually gave way to a verdant oasis, a lush grove hidden in the heart of the wilderness. The air grew cooler, and the sky above was painted in shades of deep blue and violet as the first stars began to appear. Nivara felt the pull of the grove's magic, a gentle, soothing energy that called to her. She knew it was time for another transformation, one that would attune her to the new environment and the mysteries it held. Closing her eyes, she let the magic of the grove wash over her, allowing it to guide her transformation. When she opened her eyes, Nivara had changed once more. Her hair had become silver, shimmering like moonlight on water, and her eyes now glowed with a soft, ethereal light, like the stars themselves. Her skin had taken on a pale, almost luminescent quality, and her attire had shifted to a flowing gown of midnight blue, adorned with delicate silver patterns that resembled the constellations in the night sky. She had become the embodiment of the night, the moon, and the stars, mystical and serene, yet filled with untold power. Tobian gazed at her in awe. "You're like a living reflection of the night, Nivara. The grove's magic has made you a part of its serenity and mystery." Nivara smiled, her voice soft and melodic, as if the night itself were speaking through her. "This place is special, Tobian. The magic here is ancient, quiet, and deeply connected to the moon. I can feel it guiding us, like a whisper on the wind." As they entered the grove, the world around them seemed to transform. The trees were tall and majestic, their leaves glowing with a faint silver light. The air was filled with the scent of night-blooming flowers, and the soft sound of rustling leaves created a gentle lullaby. The grove was bathed in the soft glow of the moon, which hung low in the sky, casting long, silvery shadows across the ground. The path through the grove was winding and mysterious, leading them deeper into the heart of the enchanted forest. The further they went, the more the grove's magic seemed to envelop them, creating a sense of calm and tranquility that was almost hypnotic. However, Tobian and Nivara knew better than to let their guard down. The beauty and serenity of the grove could easily lull the unwary into a false sense of security, and they could sense that something was watching them from the shadows, hidden beneath the veil of moonlight. As they continued their journey, they came across a large, ancient tree at the center of the grove. The tree was unlike any they had seen before, its bark smooth and silvery, with branches that reached out like the arms of a guardian. Hanging from its branches were countless orbs of light, glowing softly like tiny moons. "This tree is the heart of the grove," Tobian said, his voice filled with reverence. It's connected to the moon's magic, the source of this place's power. Nivara approached the tree, feeling a deep connection to its energy. She reached out to touch its bark, and as she did, the orbs of light began to pulse, their glow intensifying. The ground beneath the tree shimmered, and a hidden path revealed itself, leading deeper into the grove. Without hesitation, they followed the path, which led them to a clearing bathed in moonlight. In the center of the clearing was a shimmering pool, its surface perfectly still, reflecting the night sky above. The pool seemed to glow with an inner light, and the air around it was thick with magic. "This is the veil of the moonlit grove," Nivara whispered, her voice filled with awe. "A place where the boundary between the physical world and the spiritual realm is thin. The pool is a gateway, but to where, I do not know." Tobian nodded, understanding the significance of the place. "The moon's magic is strong here. We must be careful. The pool could lead us to another realm, or perhaps reveal something hidden deep within ourselves." They approached the edge of the pool, and as they did, the water began to ripple, its surface disturbed by an unseen force. The moonlight reflected on the water twisted and swirled, forming patterns that seemed to beckon them closer. Nivara, her form glowing with the light of the moon, knelt beside the pool and gazed into its depths. The water was clear, but as she stared into it, she began to see visions, images of distant lands, ancient ruins, and strange, ethereal creatures that moved through the shadows. "The pool is showing us visions," Nivara said, her voice filled with wonder. "It's a window to other places, other times. But there's something more, something hidden beneath the surface." Tobian joined her at the edge of the pool, his eyes narrowing as he focused on the visions. "These images are connected to our journey. The pool is trying to show us something, but it's also testing us. We need to decipher its meaning." As they watched, the visions in the pool began to change. The images became clearer, revealing a hidden temple deep within a forest, surrounded by towering trees and bathed in the same silvery light that filled the grove. The temple's entrance was adorned with intricate carvings, and at its center was a large, ornate door that seemed to pulse with magic. "This is where we need to go," Tobian said, his voice firm. "The temple in the vision, it's our next destination. The grove's magic has guided us here for a reason." Nivara nodded, her eyes still fixed on the vision. "But the path to the temple is not straightforward. There are obstacles, challenges that we'll need to overcome. The moon's light will guide us, but we must be prepared for whatever lies ahead." With the vision fading, the pool's surface returned to its stillness, and the grove around them grew quiet once more. The path to the temple was clear, but the challenges they would face were still shrouded in mystery. As they prepared to leave the grove, the moonlight continued to bathe them in its soft glow, a reminder of the magic that would guide them on their journey. Nivara's form began to shift once more, attuning herself to the energies of the next phase of their adventure. The temple awaited, and with it, the next chapter in their journey, a journey filled with new mysteries, new challenges, and the ever-present magic that bound them together.